In the heart of the city stood an old, decaying apartment complex. Inside lived Victor, a bitter, middle-aged recluse with few possessions and even fewer friends. The only companion he tolerated was his black cat, Midnight. The cat had come to him years ago, a stray with piercing yellow eyes and a presence that felt almost otherworldly. Victor didn't care much for Midnight, often berating or ignoring him entirely. But Midnight watched him, always watching, as if he understood Victor better than anyone else ever could. Victor, oblivious to those intelligent eyes, continued his routine of solitude, alcohol, and sporadic cruelty. One night, during a relentless storm, Victor sat in his chair, a bottle of whiskey in hand. Thunder rolled, and lightning illuminated the cracks in the apartment walls. Midnight lay curled on the frayed armchair across the room, his glowing eyes fixed on his owner. Victor sighed heavily and leaned back, glaring at the cat. "You're useless, you know that? Eating my food, scratching up my furniture. You're a cursed thing." He raised his bottle in a mock toast. "To you, Midnight, the ungrateful little pest." Midnight's tail flicked once, twice. Then he stood, stretching languidly before jumping onto a nearby shelf, positioning himself directly above Victor. He stared down at the man, unblinking. Victor scoffed. "What, you think you're better than me?" He slammed the bottle down on the table, shards of glass flying as the bottom cracked. "I should have thrown you out long ago. You're nothing but bad luck." The storm raged louder, the wind howling through the cracks in the windows. Midnight tilted his head, watching as Victor ranted and raved. Slowly, silently, the cat moved. He crept closer to the edge of the shelf, his body low, his muscles taut. Victor didn't notice. He was too busy slurring curses, his anger rising with every word. "You just wait," he snarled, "I'll get rid of you, just like everything else that's ruined me." Midnight pounced. With an unnatural precision, the cat landed on Victor's face, claws extended. Victor screamed, stumbling out of his chair as Midnight lashed at him with sharp claws, slashing his cheeks and neck. In a desperate attempt to free himself, Victor flailed and fell backward. His head struck the corner of the glass coffee table with a sickening crack. He collapsed, motionless, as blood pooled around him. The apartment fell silent, save for the rain pattering against the windows. Midnight sat by Victor's lifeless body, his fur slick with rain that had dripped in from a leaky ceiling. He began to methodically clean his paws, his glowing yellow eyes reflecting the flicker of the broken lamp. When Victor's body was discovered days later by the landlord, the police assumed he had tripped in a drunken stupor. They found Midnight sitting calmly by the window, staring into the city below. One officer, picking up the cat, remarked, "Poor thing. Must have been hungry and lonely with him gone." The landlord nodded. Victor never liked anyone, but that cat? That cat was always watching him. Creepy, if you ask me. Midnight was placed in a shelter, but it didn't take long before someone else adopted him, a kind woman named Sarah. She found Midnight's sharp intelligence endearing, but the strange accidents that began to occur in her life told a different story. And Midnight? He simply waited, his eyes glowing in the dark.